What follows may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
The world is full of stories. Stories of mysteries, of curiosities, of oddities. Join Kat and Jethro Gilligan Toth for the strange, the bizarre, the unexpected, as they lift the lid and cautiously peer inside the box of oddities.
Okay, if I can pull you away from the job site, the
job site,
the internet.
It sounds like I'm a construction worker.
I mean, just looking at potential jobs on your whatever app it is there.
Yeah.
You're looking for work.
Yep.
How's it going?
It's well, Chuck, it's not going well. I actually had an incredible series of emails over the last day that I just really wanted to share with you. So one of the things that this site offers is that when you sign up, you put in your resume and all the things that you've done, and then it will send you recommended jobs based on your skills and such.
Sure.
And so I got an email that said recommended jobs, and I was like, yes, this is it. This is going to be the thing. I'm excited. And I opened it up, and it said, based on the information that you've given us, here are your recommended jobs. Number 1, go-kart attendant.
You would make an amazing go-kart attendant.
Thank you. I appreciate your support.
You're welcome.
Number 2, maintenance director.
Maintenance director. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But it was for a go-kart company.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Apparently they have a hard time hiring at this particular go-kart company.
I guess. I don't know. So, I mean, that tells you where I'm at. Like, that's how marketable I am.
Well, if you work hard and apply yourself, maybe one day you can work your way up to dunk tank clown.
Thank you for your support.
Yeah, I love you.
I love you.
It's the Box of Oddities. Welcome back. And this is what, episode 17? Nice.
I've forgotten. It's impossible for me to keep track of this kind of thing. You know this.
Okay.
I played volleyball 2 days ago. Can't tell you what the score was. It's just not how my brain works.
TheBoxOfOddities.com is our website. And, of course, you can reach us anytime. Curator at TheBoxOfOddities.com or on our social media. And we really do. We enjoy reading the comments. We enjoy reading the emails.
Yeah, no, oh my gosh, we've had so many amazing emails recently, and we're starting to get some really great suggestions and feedback. And, of course, we love feedback, but these suggestions are really... oh man, I almost said revving my engine. That's so bizarre.
It's so 90s.
I know. I just feel gross now.
We're also pretty excited that pretty soon we're going to have merch.
Shh.
We're not supposed to talk about that yet?
Secrets.
Okay, all right. All right, don't tell anyone we said that, but pretty soon merch.
Stop.
You go first this week. What do you have?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So this is something I've wanted to do for a little while, but you know how I've been kind of like half-assing it for the last couple of weeks because I've been mentally exhausted.
But half of your ass is better than most people's full ass.
You are so kind to my ass. All right. So we're just going to launch into this. Okay. So picture it. Sicily. Just kidding. No, it's not Sicily. Hey, Golden Girls fans. So, not too far outside of Knoxville, Tennessee, there's a nearly 3-acre plot of land. And there are a few buildings and cars. Some of the land heavily wooded, some more sparsely. Parts of it are very watery, parts of it a little more dry. But all of it, the entire piece of land, is covered in corpses.
Oh, is this the corpse farm?
We are talking about body farms.
Oh, body farm. Yeah. Now I've heard about this. I know there's a couple of books about it. I've been intrigued by it, and I do want to learn more. So please enlighten me.
I mean, I'm going to.
Okay.
You didn't have to ask. So
you're awfully snarky for a go-kart attendant.
about about, I don't know, like 10, 15 years ago, I read a book called, I think it was Beyond the Body Farm. And I loved it. And I brought it to work with me every day at the golf course. And I got some looks. But anyway, it was amazing. And it really sparked my interest in this. And so, okay. The original Body Farm is the University of Tennessee Anthropological Research Facility, and it's located a few miles from downtown on Alcoa Highway in Knoxville, Tennessee. It's right behind the University of Tennessee Medical Center, and it was first started in late 1981. Oh, it was a good time. By anthropologist Dr. William M. Bass as a facility for the study of decomp of human remains. So it's a wooded plot surrounded by a razor wire fence. And at any one time, there will be a number of bodies placed in different settings throughout the facility and left to decompose.
And what is that noise?
Is it the dog snoring?
Oh, Willie's snoring. Willie, snore quietly. We're podcasting over here. Okay, go ahead. You sure that's not you?
Okay. So the bodies are exposed in a number of ways in order to provide insights into decomp under varying conditions. The idea is to recreate situations that bodies might be left in so that people can monitor the rate of decomposition, the rate of insect activity. So for instance, they might take a body and leave it in the trunk of a car.
Sure.
For a week and see how that reacts.
Who hasn't?
Based on the temperature and such. They might submerge the body in a puddle. They provide factual data to help forensic cases. Observations and records of the decomp process are kept, including the sequence and speed of decomp and the effects of insect activity, as I mentioned. By the way, I got most of this from Wikipedia, the article about body farms on How Stuff Works, University of Tennessee Forensic Anthropology Center website. The stages that are studied begin with the fresh stage, and then the bloat stage, then decay, and finally the dry stage. Forensic anthropology can help close cold cases, as well as give us information on how to read current corpses. For example, in 1933, the body of 7-year-old Dalbert Aposhian was found floating in San Diego Bay. And after examining the body, an autopsy surgeon declared that it had been sodomized and mutilated.
Oh, my God.
No one was ever arrested for the crime. And in September of 2005, San Diego County Crime Lab received funds to open cold cases, and his was one of the cases that they opened. After re-examining reports and pictures taken during the initial investigation, the medical examiner's office determined that the boy simply drowned, and that the original report that said he'd been sexually assaulted and mutilated was actually just misunderstanding of how bodies react to water, and decomp happens within water.
Really?
Which, it's not like, yay, because he's still dead, but it must be such a relief to those who had dealt with that case to okay, well, that, he...
Yeah.
Serial killer John Wayne Gacy killed 33 young men, 29 of whom were buried right below his own house. When investigators discovered the corpses, many of which had been stacked on top of one another, they relied on forensic anthropologists to help them begin the identification process and learn about how they would have been killed and how you can determine which things that happened to their bodies happened after they were piled on top of each other.
Wow.
So there...
Sorry.
That's all right. So there are many body farms. There's one at Western Carolina University.
So like a franchise opportunity?
Yeah, you can get yours now.
Okay.
Just like the ice cream robot.
The frozen yogurt robots? Yeah, you could do that.
The second human decomp facility to open in the United States is located at Western Carolina University. North Carolina is part of the Western Carolina Human Identification Laboratory, and it's commonly known as FOREST. The facility studies decomp in the Western North Carolina mountain habitat and has been used for cadaver dog training.
You know what's weird about cadaver dogs is they just seem so happy with their job. Well, I found a dead body. Who's a good boy?
They say if it's worth doing, it's worth doing well. And
I suppose, yeah.
do it with joy. There's a body farm at Texas State University, Sam Houston State University, Southern Illinois University, Colorado Mesa University, one in Australia, India, the UK, and elsewhere. And again, the advances that they've made in forensics because of these farms is amazing. There are some people, though, who are, if you can believe it, anti-body farm.
Well, that's not a real thing.
It's true. There's actually a group called SICK. It's an abbreviation for something. I don't remember what it is because it's dumb. But they're like, they have complaints about it smells, and there are insects drawn to it, and scavengers drawn to it. And also, I can see dead bodies from my house, which the university has assured is not the case. You cannot see dead bodies from your house. Stop it. But the Department of Anthropology receives over 100 body donations a year. All the donations are placed at the Anthropology Research Facility, with the remains eventually moved into the William M. Bass Donated Skeletal Collection. Keep in mind, donation of your body to the Department of Anthropology does not prevent donation of other tissues or organs, which is something that I was concerned about. I was like, oh, I want to donate my organs, so I can't donate my body.
You don't want to waste it.
Right, but that's not the case. You can do both. Unlike medical schools, though, they don't return your body. I guess when medical schools are done with your bits, they sew you back up and send you back to your family, and then you can be buried wherever.
Sure.
That's just not the case here. And I imagine you don't want them back.
No. After they've spent several months under a crabapple tree.
Right. Yeah. Wrapped in a tarp. Or not wrapped in a tarp. Yeah, you're not getting that back. The only time that the body farms will reject a body is if the person has been infected with HIV, hepatitis, or the antibiotic resistant bacterias.
Oh, yeah.
So they don't want those. And if you are interested in donating your body, in Tennessee, like if you're like within 100 miles of the farm, they'll come and pick it up. It's like Goodwill. They're like, oh, we'll come and get it.
They give you a receipt for your taxes. Write that off.
But if you're outside of that range, then you have to arrange for the body to be moved. But you just go to the University of Tennessee Forensic Anthropology Center website and click on Body Donation Packet. And then you can fill out the forms out there. You can fill them out now if you're interested.
So this is a government-funded thing?
Well, it's part of the university. I believe that's how it works. I mean, I know it is part of the university. How funding works, I'm not sure, but I imagine it's part of. Yeah.
Maybe to supplement their growing costs, which I'm sure they have, they could open it to the public. Like, you know how you can tour breweries? It'd be like that. Mm-hmm. You could tour it.
There's a lot of similarities. Very yeasty.
Oh, good God.
Yeasty. What is that horrible smell? Is it decomp? No, it's hops. It's rank. Get away from there. You won't like it. It's bad. You think you want to do a tour of a body farm?
I don't know. I might be interested in it.
No, you would not. 100% you wouldn't like it.
Well, I put on like a face mask.
There was that time you cut your finger and then you almost fainted.
That's true. I get woozy on a golf cart too. But I don't know. The idea is it's morbidly fascinating.
Oh, for sure. Well, I could go and then I'd put together a slideshow for you.
Would you? Just block out
Because I love you. Here's your dead bodies.
You are a special kind of wife.
When you care enough to send the very deadest. Anyway, so that's body farms.
I still think it's an excellent franchising opportunity. So you could get into that instead of go-kart attendant, which, by the way, you would excel at.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I would excel at it. Accelerator. Vroom, vroom. I don't know. I'm so embarrassed for me.
The Box of Oddities with Kat and Jethro Gilligan Toth.
All right, it's the thing in the middle.
Top 5 weird addictions we found on the internet from the show Weird Addictions or other shows about weird addictions. It doesn't have to be from Weird Addictions. It's just all... It's weird addictions. Top 5 or 5. Doesn't have to be top. Just 5 weird addictions.
Number 5. How about the woman who is addicted to dirty diapers? Yeah, she says she loves sniffing and chewing on them.
No.
And there's a photo of her. She's got a whole, like, it looks like a chest of drawers in her bedroom. And one whole drawer is just full of, neatly wrapped, I might add, dirty diapers. And she's sniffing them and showing them and then putting them back for later use.
I don't want to do this anymore. It's awful. Josh, his addiction, eating glass. His quote during the episode was, "When I bite into the glass, I get a kind of warm feeling." Yeah, that's blood.
Number 3, the woman who refuses to cut her nails. She refers to them as her babies. And they look gnarly. I mean, seriously gnarly. How do you drive like that?
How do you wipe like that? What's her butt like? I bet it's real bad.
I never thought about that. Now it's all I can think about.
No. Number 2, pulling hair out of shower drains. Evan can't stop. He even pulls hair out of other people's shower drains.
But what's he do with the hair? He doesn't eat it.
No, he just likes pulling it out. He likes for it to be especially slimy and wet. He said he would be super disappointed if he pulled out a bunch of dry hair.
Oh, that is horrifyingly disappointing. And number 1, there's a woman who's admitted that she was like literally eating her house. She's addicted to eating her house. She says, "I love the smell of drywall, the texture of it, the taste. I love everything about it." So far, she's nibbled her way through the rumpus room.
Okay, can we just talk about how weird a rumpus room is in the first place? It's such a weird 70s thing. Honestly, you people.
You people.
A rumpus room to me just sounds like a place where people got high and had orgies.
What's your point?
You're listening to The Box of Oddities. Nothing better to do?
Oh, I know what you're asking. You're asking, what is the texture like when you eat human flesh? Well, the answer, according to one man, is it's a lot like biting into a pear.
I mean, I would imagine like not a ripe pear.
It doesn't specify how ripe the pear needs to be to mimic the texture of human flesh, but according to Durangel Vargas, who is the Hannibal Lecter of the Andes, that's what it's like.
Oh my goodness. And that was what I was thinking. Thank you for clarifying.
Like a pear. He apparently not only murdered people, but cooked and ate them and did it for years.
Oh, so cooked human flesh is like pear-like.
Yes.
Okay, not raw human flesh. Okay, that's where I was confused.
Okay. All
Okay,
right.
I'm glad.
Okay.
I'm glad we
So-
got that covered.
Because raw human flesh, that's barbaric.
I just thought rubbery.
Well, he's from Venezuela, and apparently he had a rough childhood.
Sure.
His parents were a member of some liberation army that worked with guerrillas patrolling the Colombia-Venezuela border. And at a very young age, he was taken along in these very violent type of operations. And those guys, the guerrillas, were convinced he was possessed by evil demons even then. As he got older, Vargas, I guess, drifted into the city of San Cristobal.
No, you're doing great.
Okay, thank you. Where he lived under a bridge for many years with lots of other transients. Most of the other guys just kind of moved on over the years, but not him. He stayed there.
It was his favorite bridge.
But after a while, he was picked up by local police several times on various charges, vagrancy, petty theft, that sort of thing. But then a tragedy struck. He murdered another homeless guy and ate him, and they put him in jail for that. Apparently, they frown on that in Venezuela. He was in not prison, but a mental health institute.
Okay.
And it gets a little foggy here. We're not sure if he was released or if he escaped, but he got out. And for quite a few years, he lived his life undetected and just under the radar, more or less. And during a 2-year period between 1997 and 1999, Vargas was apparently pretty busy. He was murdering and eating people that he found in the park. Despite efforts to hide the bodies, evidence of the crimes were found by police. I guess some kids had found some bones along the riverside, and they called authorities, and they started poking around. They found a lot of bones and heads and hands and things like that. Stuff that he didn't find appetizing.
Sure.
That he left behind.
And kudos to those children for calling the authorities. If you see something, say something.
They thought for a while that it was a burial ground for drug deals that have gone bad. They were operating under that assumption for some time. Further investigation, they found out that these people had all been reported missing for some time. And then they started finding like telltale signs of butchering, on the bones
Sure.
and that sort of thing. So they started digging into who lived in the area. And that soon led to Vargas because, well, he had already killed a guy and eaten him and been put away for it. So they thought they'd start there. So they went to his little hut that he had, and they found all kinds of containers with human flesh, body parts.
Like refrigerated?
No, he didn't have a fridge. Oh. So he would just keep it, as long as he could, and then he'd go kill somebody else because he didn't have a fridge.
Oh, sure. But how long can you keep, that's not important. Go
Well,
ahead.
He would season it, I guess, and try to keep it longer.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. Yeah.
But he
like
averaged
salted meat?
like a weird beef jerky, if you will. But that's why he ended up killing 2 guys a week on average, because the meat would go bad before he could eat it. So he would just, throw it out and go kill somebody else.
It's like back in the day when they went on long shippy business and they would bring meats with them, but they would also bring a couple of live cows so that way they could eat their meats, and then they would have live cows to slaughter.
Yeah.
And their meat system would last them longer.
And so they find this guy, and he doesn't even deny it. They come up to him and they arrest him. He doesn't say, I didn't do it. He doesn't say, hey, you got the wrong guy. He says, quote, human meat is nice, but I like eating all kinds of meat. Dogs, cats, lizards. I buried the heads and feet and threw the other bones in the river. I also stored meat in containers. The heart and the liver must be spiced up. If I was hungry, I used to kill men, never women, because they do no harm. Men taste like barbecue. Women, too sweet. They taste like flowers. So they said, yeah, I think we got our man.
Captain?
Yeah, we've got a guy here, and he's got a person stuck in his teeth. Over. Do they still say over?
I don't know.
Vargas apparently targeted male and healthy passers-by, such as athletes and laborers.
That's what you get for jogging.
Jogging will kill you and get you eaten. If the hunting was bad, he would go after drunkards. He avoided killing women and children, and he also avoided fat people because he says it would raise his cholesterol level.
Is that how that works?
I don't know. But apparently he was a diet-conscious cannibal.
See, I've got a friend who's like a nutritional expert, and I really like to get in touch with her and I just have some questions.
He also wouldn't eat old people because he thought the flesh was contaminated. And that's
With old?
Yeah, that's probably true, though. Years and years of being exposed to chemicals and that sort of thing.
Bus fumes,
Sure.
that kind of thing.
Now, he would hunt them just like you would an animal. He would hunt them with spears. He had a spear that he made out of a tube, and he would spear his victims and then finish them off with rocks, and then dismember them and cannibalize them.
Wait a minute. Wait 1 minute.
Yeah.
I just figured out what you meant earlier today when you said this week's episode's juicy.
That was a private joke for you.
I love it.
Vargas said that his favorite part to eat was the muscle from the thighs and the calves.
I get that. That makes sense.
Those were his, quote, personal favorites. But he also said he makes a delicious stew out of tongues, and he used to remove people's eyes and include them in his soup.
Kind of like a bay leaf, just for flavor.
Just to give it a nice little zing.
That's awful. That's awful.
Body parts that he did not consume, he would bury them along the river.
It's like a compost pile.
He said he would spear them, then he'd cut their head off, and it would make him feel happy. And then he would go back and dig a hole and bury what was left.
So he spoke Spanish, right?
Yeah, he spoke Spanish.
So this is just awkwardly translated.
It is, but you get the general idea.
You do.
This was a bad man.
Yeah. It sounds like the way a child would say something. And then I cut his head off, and it made me feel happy.
He also said at one point that his neighbor Manuel was a really nice guy, and all the people in the neighborhood would always talk about what a good person Manuel was. So he thought, well, if he's a good person, this is what he said. He said, I thought if Manuel is a good person, then he probably tastes good. So he killed Manuel, and he chopped the meat up, and he put it in empanadas, and then he served them to all of his neighbors. They didn't know. And he said, they just love my empanadas. They loved them. They said that the stuffing was delicious. But in fact, it was Manuel.
It was Manuel empanadas.
It was Manuel empanadas.
That's why I only do cheese. Only do cheese empanadas.
So he gets arrested, obviously, goes to prison. He's been there, since 1999.
Oh, he's still alive?
Not only is he still alive, in 2016, apparently he killed an inmate and ate him in prison.
How do you have time for that? Yeah, I hope he's not like one of the cooks in the clink. They say if you want to dispose of bodies while working in a prison, you should work in the laundry, but maybe in his case, it would be the kitchen. How awkward did it sound when I used the word clink?
So 2 inmates went missing in the prison, and they did an investigation, and then they had to go and tell the families of 2 inmates, we've got some bad news. We probably shouldn't have put them in the same cell with this guy because he killed and ate them. And then he put all their intestines and stuff in pipes so that they wouldn't find them, and he cooked them up, and he served them with rice to rival gang members who didn't know what they were eating.
Oh, I'm really surprised that they would eat anything that he served them. That just seems silly.
They were 2 of their companions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's no good.
No, it's just bad form.
Yeah, so it seems that maybe, rugged childhood led to some issues that he was working through, and he was a transient, and so maybe there were some rough conditions, and maybe he killed someone out of just the nature of living under a bridge. I don't know.
Sure.
And then he was like, well, hey, I'm hungry. Might as well eat him. And then it was like, hey, this works out okay for me. I'm going to continue this behavior, what with the slaughtering and the eating. And then he discovered, what's even better is feeding people this business. And it seems like he's kind of evolved throughout the years.
Yeah.
Like this is where I get my jollies, is feeding you other people. Up.
He actually commented on that in an interview. He said that he's just doing what the church tells him to do, which is to share his bread. But by bread, he means Manuel.
Yeah, he
His
means
neighbor.
Manuel meat.
Manuel meat.
Manuel Mitches.
They should do like a cannibal version of Chopped on the Food Network. Here's our contestant today, Durangel Vargas. Here are your ingredients: ice cream, olives, and hobo ass. 30 minutes on the clock.
I hate it when they give me the ass. It's so tough.
I'm right in my element because I've served a lot of hobo ass in my experience. I used to kill them in a park and make stew out of it. So I'm feeling pretty confident right now. Chopped, the cannibal version.
Oh, now I want to watch Chopped.
So anyway, there you go. He's locked up, but apparently the only people that aren't safe are his cellmates who end up in a stew or a tasty rice dish.
Well, that was delightful. And I mean, a little upsetting.
It was very
It
upsetting.
was pretty upsetting.
Yeah.
But also delightful. I'd never heard of him before, and I think that's interesting.
That's why I chose that, because I had not heard of this guy before, but he was quite prolific. He killed like up to 14 people that he admits to.
Oh, wow.
And
Well, he doesn't seem like someone who wouldn't admit to it.
you would think, but at the same time, maybe he just lost count.
It's true. I want to know more about his childhood. I want to know what makes people who are in the midst of guerrilla warfare go, that kid's a nut job. Get away.
Yeah.
Get away. Like, what did he build with his Legos that sent them,
Off the edge.
Right.
Yeah. These are people that were killing other people in the jungle, and they said, that kid's too crazy for us.
We don't like him.
Get him away from us.
I think he's bad. I don't like that child. Please keep him away. I have some murderous deeds to do.
TheBoxOfOddities.com is our website. Curator at The Box of Oddities is an email address you can connect with us on. Of course, social media. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. And the Book of Faces.
That's different than the Book of Faces that Vargas guy had.
No, that was a stew of faces. This is the difference.
And we would love to hear from you. And we have other things that we're working on that we can't tell you about right now.
What about the...
No. And we think...
Well, we already mentioned...
And I think that it would be helpful to us if you sent us more stuff for the things.
So you're saying we need more material because...
I'm just saying that it would benefit everyone to share information with me about things that...
Because we're going to do... All right. We'll leave it as a secret for now, but I think by the time our next episode drops, everybody's going to know, or will shortly after.
Was that a hand fart? Oh, I thought it was a hand fart.
I
was so excited. I don't see a lot of hand farts anymore. And it's just like, yeah. I thought that's just what you were doing now.
No.
It was a hand fart. Okay. How are you married to me still? I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, I got jazzed about a hand fart. Yeah, theboxofoddities.com. Please don't leave me.
We'll see you next time.
Oh, keep flying that freak flag.
Fly it proudly. Do it. And thanks for accepting us as we are.
And so, let it be known that the Box of Oddities belongs to you, and its fate is in your hands. Therefore, it's been requested by those I report to beseech you for assistance. The Box of Oddities is free. We ask but one thing of you, to provide a 5-star rating and a positive review. True, that is 2 things. However, 'tis merely a 5-star rating and a positive review. Also, subscribe to us. Okay, so 3 things is all we ask. 3 things and 3 things only. Henceforth, the Box of Oddities commits to the telling of stories. Stories of the strange, the bizarre, the unexpected. We wish to offer our deeply felt gratitude and appreciation for your patronage. TheBoxOfOddities.com. On Facebook at facebook.com/Box of Oddities Podcast. On Twitter at Box of Oddities. And Instagram at Box of Oddities Podcast. Copyright 2018. All rights reserved.